And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land, part of Collecting and Connecting, Good Vibes Community. Ethan Greenberg here, and alongside of me, my co-host Mike Rasinski. Mike, how are we doing this evening? Are you enjoying the warm-up in the weather up here in the Commonwealth?
Oh yeah, it hit 80 degrees today, and it might get 90 tomorrow, at least up here by DC. It's wonderful. It reminds me that spring and summer are here. The guards are playing. We got NBA basketball playoffs. It's going good. It's
Yeah,
going good. And the draft.
yeah,
That's
can't
me.
forget the draft. I mean, or though maybe we can or should. I don't know. Last year
It's
turned out to be pretty solid.
it's our Super Bowl every year. This is the Brown Super Bowl.
It's literally it's quite honestly the high point, the high watermark for the season is the draft because you have maybe you feel like there's that tiny bit of hope,
Yeah.
and
You're
then reality sets in pretty quickly thereafter. But it is what it is. It's
no,
all
you're absolutely right. It's the only time all year we have hope as Browns fans. So I'll take it.
yeah, I
But
know, I know. It has been it's been rough. Let's get them out of the way first.
okay.
Let's just get the
So
Browns out of the way and be done because there's not really because the thing is there's not much to
yeah.
say. There
Yeah,
really
you're right.
isn't. The biggest thing is national media is living it up and loving life because all they want to talk about is the Browns should trade Miles Garrett. The Browns should trade Miles Garrett. And I've had it. I know other people have had it as well with that because I don't think that the return you could possibly get would make it worthwhile. He has the no trade clause. He's
Mm-hmm.
not going to go to a crap team. He wants to go to a contender. Well, if you're going to a contender, where are their picks going to be after this year? I mean, I know that they talked about the possibility of a team like Dallas because Dallas has a couple of first rounders this year. But if you add him to Dallas's roster, how much better are they going to be? And then if let's say they give you a few first round picks for like the next couple years, if they're even better adding a Miles Garrett, your first round pick is really a late first rounder, almost a second rounder. What have you really gained? And you've gotten rid of your future Hall of Famer for a bunch of potential.
Yeah. No,
And
I don't
we've
understand.
seen how that works.
Yeah, never well for the Browns. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because sorry, let me silence that real quick.
Hey,
So it's
you're
come
very
through. Yeah,
important.
it doesn't
You're very important. It was the G. That you know what? I think that was Jerry Jones calling. He wanted to talk to you about a deal.
it was Carter who may be coming in late to the podcast. We'll see, but maybe
All
not.
right.
Well,
Okay.
he's out enjoying the nice weather.
As
But
he should be.
yeah, absolutely. But as far as this trade talk, it makes no sense because they restructure his contract almost every year. This is no different than what they've done before. The only difference is they signed him last year to a new contract with a no trade clause. So if anything, it leans more to him not being traded. It's not like we're doing anything different than we've done in the past years. We restructure everybody's contract. It doesn't mean we're going to trade him. It's just so we can actually free up salary cap room. So you're right. It's just this national media, I think, not understanding the local situation and making a mountain out of a molehill.
Well, it's that, and I believe that Cleveland sports is good for business, and taking the best athletes out of Cleveland is a great narrative for the national media. I I know that it may come off as a thing where, oh, you're just seeing it through the Cleveland fans' eyes. I don't think I am. It feels as if every time there's a good athlete in Cleveland, the national media wants to play up the idea that Cleveland sucks. And what can we do to get these guys out of Cleveland and somewhere else? And so that's what's really annoying. Now, is Mike Evans really gone? I don't know, Jason. I thought he went, didn't he? Yeah, he's gone from from Tampa. He
From
signed
Tampa, yeah.
He
Yeah,
signed
he signed
elsewhere, I
with
believe.
somebody. It wasn't us. That's all I know.
No, it was not. No, it was not. So anyway, but I am tired of the garbage. I am certainly ready for the draft next week, next Thursday night, round 1, and then looking forward to the draft. And then we got Thursday, round 1, Friday night will be rounds 2 and 3, and then Saturday, rounds 4 through 7, a painstakingly long day where they are running the video footage that they've gathered up, and they've blown the dust off of it for all these guys who we've never seen and heard of. It'll be great. There's guys that go at pick 144, like that fella Shador Sanders.
You're
Eh,
talking about the Pro Bowl quarterback for the Cleveland Browns?
I am. He is a Pro Bowl quarterback. You're right.
Yeah.
Man, could you imagine if we had him and like Snoop Huntley on the roster? Shoot, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that'd be 3 Pro Bowlers on the roster. Because Deshaun, don't forget him.
How could I forget him? Oh boy. Okay, here's a good question. All right. So first of all, yes, Mike across the pond, thank you for tuning in. Yes, he is on the 49ers. To answer this question, are the Browns starting Shador Sanders? I honestly hope so. And Mike, tell me if you agree with this. We've discussed it ad nauseum, but just to kind of put it out there, my feeling is that it's the best case scenario for Sanders to be playing. If he succeeds, you've got your quarterback, and you don't need a quarterback next year. If he sucks up the joint, well, you're drafting a quarterback next year. If you play Watson would be, even if he does well, then what are you going to do with him after this? This is the end of his contract. I don't think you're going to re-sign this guy who's played in 19 games, started 19 games over a 6-year period, if you include the end of his time in Houston. And if he plays poorly, well, at that point, have you already played Sanders, or where does that all fall out? And I think you're not in much of a better position going into next year's draft, and I don't want to go that far ahead. So can you please give me a top? I don't know. All right, so what do we got here on watching the draft from Florida? Don't blame him for not wanting to go to Pukesburg for the draft. Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to go to Pukesburg. But what do you think,
So
Mike?
I'm with you. I'd rather see Sanders. I'd rather see Dylan Gabriel over Deshaun at this point. I'm done with Deshaun. I know there's this talk about, yeah, he could play well and we could re-sign him again. I don't want any of that. I want Deshaun as a third string quarterback in case Deshaun and I'm sorry, if Sanders and Gabriel get hurt, and that is it. But let me ask you this hypothetical. Let's say the Browns do start Deshaun because, it's the Browns and they could. And let's say he goes, I don't know, 10-7, starts the whole year, goes 10-7. Would you re-sign him, or is there too much animosity?
Oh,
Could you forget all of the past if he actually brings success to the Browns?
If he brings success, he's going to want a giant contract, and I'm not giving him that. Get the heck out of here with that.
I was hoping you'd say that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all right. It's a hard pass. That is a hard pass, and I think that you're right. There is the emotional side of it, the animosity, because the team is behind the 8 ball because of this move. They made a high risk move, and it's turned out to be a bust. So far it's been a low reward, and there's Mike from the hell no is
maybe the worst trade in NFL history. It
might be. I don't know. Ricky Williams trade for the Saints, giving up their entire draft to get Ricky Williams. Bad idea.
At least he wasn't accused in court of doing illicit things.
Right. Yeah. That's
we don't have to replay all of that.
We don't have to. I ain't getting into that. So I think that the Browns right now need to concentrate on building again through the draft. Last year we had an incredibly successful draft by all metrics. The fact that we were able to trade with Jacksonville, we were really hoping Jacksonville was going to stink again, but they turned out to be really good. Their pick is the 24th pick this year in the first round, which is ours. We they go ahead and they get Travis Hunter. And apparently there's reports, I don't know, that maybe they're going to focus him solely at cornerback instead of cornerback and wide receiver. So ultimately, it looks like the Browns came out on top there. Also, we used the extra pick on Quinshon Judkins. He appears to be healthy. Every pick was pretty darn good. Granted, you could question the Gabriel third-round pick, and you could even question picking Sanders in the 5th round, especially after you pick Gabriel in the 3rd round. But all in all, Fannin, Sampson, Schlesinger, Judkins, Graham, all very good. A lot of potential there as Schlesinger was a defensive rookie of the year. Fannin had a great season and had a great rapport with Shedeur Sanders. So that's kind of my feeling is you go into this draft and you need to keep adding talent. You don't need to subtract, and you need to put yourself in the best position to win as possible. We've been saying it for years. Give us some adequate offense.
So
And it's going to make the defense look that much better when they're playing well.
I think one of the questions I have for you, we've been debating a little bit with the number 6 pick, would you take an offensive lineman or a wide receiver? Let me throw this one at you. Would you rather have them take, hold at number 6 or trade down to somewhere else in the 1st round? I don't care where, and rack a couple extra picks either this year or next year.
I don't hate it. It depends on who's gone through the first 5. It depends. I can't say for sure. There's so many scenarios. I wouldn't hate it. Let me just say that. Last year, I was distraught when the Browns traded out of 2, and I'm like, what are these bozos doing? And obviously, my initial reaction might have been a bit over the top, but we came back down to earth, and certainly the results were good. So I need to see those first few picks to be able to better judge whether or not that would be good. It all depends on who you're trading with. We've seen what happens when we trade down. How many times did we trade down in a draft and stink up the joint? Corey Coleman. I mean, we've done so many bad things. There we go. So Mike says ideally the Browns double trade on opening night, down and then up. So down from 6, up from 24. And if you, as he says, get a wide receiver in the 10 to 12 range, trade up from 24 at, or he's saying that's up from 24 back into the first round. Either way, any way you slice it, I think that there is certainly room for movement, and I wouldn't be surprised by anything at this point. It is absolutely silly season out there with all the coverage that the draft has, and they're running out of things to talk about, and that's why they're talking about whether the Browns should trade Myles Garrett. And I just, for so many reasons, I'm like, get the heck out of here, and I got nothing on that. But certainly looking forward to getting the draft over with so we can move forward with that. I mean, I guess for you, what would you ask me the question? I'll ask you the same. What do you think about the 6th pick, the 24th pick? What would you ideally do if you were the GM?
Yeah. So like you said, it's going to depend a lot on, I think, who gets picked first and what positions start going. But in an ideal world, I would like to see them trade down, get an extra 1st rounder, whether it be this year or next year. And then seems like there's a lot of good offensive linemen out there. And I think if you trade down, you could still get a quality offensive lineman and maybe a 2nd tier wide receiver with, if you're picking in the middle of the 1st round, then late 1st round, say we trade from 6 to, like Mike said, 12 or 15, solid offensive lineman, use 24 on a wide receiver, and then get an extra 1st rounder next year or something like that. I would be okay with that, depending on how it flows.
My biggest thing for the wide receiver, certainly outside of health has to be a concern. You don't want to get a guy who's injury prone. And I know that's the knock on Jordan Tyson, which is Jalen Tyson's brother. The knock on him is injury prone. I need someone who can catch the ball. I don't need any more guys who have a case of the dropsies. I don't need Jerry Jeudy. I don't need to see Greg Little, stone hands out there. Please, just pick a guy who can catch the ball consistently. That would kind of be helpful. But we'll see what happens. I saw something just on my social media of interest. I don't think Nick Chubb has a home right now.
Oh, really? Still?
Yeah, I know we've got Judkins, Sampson, and Rocket Sanders. But just out of curiosity, would you kick the tires if someone went down with an injury? You wouldn't hesitate to bring him back into the fold, not as necessarily your feature back, but into the running back room?
100%. I mean, number one, the goodwill that would bring with the fan base, with the bad will essentially that the Browns have given us so far between Deshaun Watson and just putting a crappy team on the field for so long and this whole stadium drama. Give us some goodwill. Nick Chubb would do that. Two, I think he's probably got some gas left in the tank. We saw that with the Texans last year. He didn't do bad. His stats were actually
they were all right. They were all right. He obviously it wasn't his greatest. I think that in that way, the Browns' move was okay from the production perspective. But I agree with you.
Yeah, and he'll be another year back from the knee injury, and it takes, usually it takes a couple years. So I think he'll could be potentially more productive this year. And then three, we've got another running back coming back from a leg injury. Like who better to mentor him than Chubb? On Judkins. Have a big brother there that's gone through the same thing. That can't hurt.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, certainly a different type of injury, but nevertheless, having faced that adversity. Okay, one more question on the Browns here because Mike posted this. Thoughts on what Joe Thomas was on ESPN Cleveland this morning. Kind of funny. I think this was planned. Tony Grossi normally does his daily segment on ESPN Cleveland, and he's on jury duty.
Really?
He's been on jury duty for all of last week and into this week. I'm like, I wonder if he called in a favor. It's coming up the draft season. I'm kind of tired of all this. Can my jury duty come now? I'm wondering
Perfect.
about that. But I wasn't listening really closely, but Joe Thomas said about offensive tackles, Wills in the draft, offensive tackle. I don't know what he said about Jed Wills. I know he said about offensive tackles swapping sides from college to the NFL shouldn't be a problem. I guess that's what you have. I would take his word for it. Yeah. If Joe Thomas thinks you can do that, then I've got to take. He knows best.
Maybe we should hire him on as a coach if he can help him.
No, I think that if he wasn't so heavily invested in his family, and maybe at some point he'll be up to it, but the guy, he's busy, and
he could be like Kluber for the guards, do the like advisor role or something.
Exactly. And then everyone will yell when we let him leave the building, a la Mike Vrabel. Oh, Mike Vrabel, I haven't seen him in the news at all these days. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I mean, some report. Hey now. Oh, boy. Right. Oh, not going to touch that one there, Pelly. No problem. Well, let's, okay. That's enough Browns talk. I think we've worn them out. They're an energy suck, right? What should we go with next? Should we talk a little Guardians, then we'll finish off with Cavs playoff basketball, talk them a little bit?
Let's do it. That sounds great.
All right, moving on. Let's go over to the Gardos. The Guardians with a big win last night, bouncing back after that debacle on Sunday. Okay, no, wait a second. I just want to get it. Problem with Jed Wills' motivation and desire. No kidding, Mike. Remember he said he made a business decision at the
That's right.
Get that out of here. Get that out of here with that guy. Okay, so they bounced back. Sunday night sucked. I just want to hit that right there, right off the top.
Yeah, that's 2 Sunday night baseballs where they've underperformed, if you will.
And I don't think we're on Sunday night again.
Good.
We're not scheduled for any more national Sunday night games. Tanner Bybee, I believe, started both of those against the Dodgers and against the Braves, and he did not do great. I mean, it was really a poor performance. And let's see, it was a very poor performance. And so, Mike, I think what he's saying here, 6-0 with Austin Hedges starting. I assume he means for the season when Hedges is behind the plate. And that was kind of an interesting thing. David Fry was catching on Sunday. How much do you think that impacted Tanner Bybee? I can't say that that's the deciding factor there, but that may not help the cause.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. I don't know. That's a good question. It'd be interesting to see who caught. We'll have to look it up. Who caught Bybee the other games he's pitched. But I wonder too. I hope it's not the case that his shoulder inflammation he had after week or start one isn't still bothering him, because he right now is our worst pitcher and he's
He
supposedly our ace.
yeah. I've heard some things that maybe it's not, that shoulder is still an issue.
Yeah,
And if that's the case, please don't do what Tristan McKenzie did to us.
I know.
Like, if you have a problem, get it fixed now, because what's going to happen, and again, we talked about this all about Tristan McKenzie. One, your mechanics are going to get off. Then it's going to turn psychological. And once your mechanics are off, it's psychological, you can't get anything going, you're going to be hosed. You're not going to be able to bounce back from that if you let it go too long. I would say better now to take the time and get fixed right, rather than continuing to struggle and then battling this mental thing. He continues to give up the home run ball, which was already a problem last year. And this year has just been no better. Certainly that shoulder is no good. And here's a good thing about Hedges behind the plate. 34 innings pitched, 19 hits, 14 walks, 37 strikeouts, and only 5 earned runs. And we have one of the best pitching staffs in Major League Baseball. I believe I saw that we are second in the league in pitching, behind the Dodgers.
So overall, I have it pulled up right now.
Or maybe
We're 14th overall, but that, I think it's our starters, I think might be second, but we're 14th overall right now, which, honestly, we're a more balanced team than we were last year, which is how we can get by with right now, just above average pitching staff and still have the 4th best record in all of baseball.
It's kind of crazy that we have done as well as we have done. Yeah. So the ERA, I was looking at something earlier. I know what it said on ESPN. Pitching leaders, all major wins. Well, yes, we have 10 wins. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't quite understand how that's a stat.
But what I like though, if you look at our offense, we are 22nd in average, and
that's improving. Horrible. It's coming up.
That has improved from last year when we were consistently like 30 or 29. In home runs, we're 10th, and on OPS, we are 17th, so right in the middle of the pack. We were horrible in those stats last year. I know it's still early, but we're just a more balanced team right now, which I love to see, as opposed to just pitcher heavy.
Right. Well, that was the thing. We knew that we were going to be relying on the pitchers. If you give them just a little bit more help, which is what they're doing so far, I'm really impressed with that. Let's see. There it is. Only the Blue Jays starting pitching has thrown more strikeouts. So we've got more. So second in the league in Ks. That's fantastic. I think we're doing all right. I'd be curious here. How many walks have we yielded? Where do we lead? Because I know Gavin Williams, we're right in the middle of the pack, 62 walks. And as Mike mentioned, Toronto has 168 Ks, but they've done it in 2 fewer games. We have 166 in 17 games. Philly with 164 in 16 games. So, but it's all good. I'm not going to complain at all. The batting, sure. Could our hitting be, come around a little bit more? The hot start for Chase DeLauder, he's cooled off, which you kind of expected. But Angel Martinez, he leads the game off last night with a home run. Or I'm sorry, he was not leads it off. He was hitting second. But I mean, He's right now, he's currently leading the team in batting average at 319. Surprised or not?
I mean, it's surprising, but I'm glad to see that you expect your younger players to grow and develop year after year. And, he's a great example of a guy that's showing that right now. Schneeman's another one, I think, that's showing a lot of progress from a guy that nobody heard of 2 years ago.
Yeah, we have this way of guys coming along that you sit there and go, huh? I think about like Tyler Naquin.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other guys. Like, was Kipnis really? Did anyone know who the heck Kipnis
No,
was when he came
nobody
up?
knew who he was. Michael Brantley, the player to be named later in that trade. Like, yeah, they can find some talent, as long as we just need to find a corner outfielder that can hit for power, which hopefully we have now. We'll see.
I do hope so, and I'll be very interested to see what happens after the game on Sunday. The Guardians made a couple moves. Hunter Gaddis, who had been injured, he comes in. He pitches last night. Then you have you send C.J. Kafis down to Columbus. Colby Allard, who they hung him out to dry on Sunday night. As Mike from the UK was watching along with us, he said they're going to DFA him, and they did in fact DFA him. And George Valera is back in the bigs. Last year he was up here, not a long stint. So he's had a taste of it. He's definitely had a taste of it. And Mike, to your question, I don't know what's up with the Twins. They got rid of their entire. They got rid of everybody. Yet somehow they're also 10-7.
I wonder who they've been playing though. Like, what's impressed me with the Guards so far too is we've had 11 away games, only 6 home games, and we've played quality opponents. There's been no gimmies at all in the schedule, and they're still doing this well. I bet you the Twins, if we probably clicked on their schedule here, do not have a
Well,
similar.
they swept the Tigers. I know
I mean,
but the Tigers are. I mean, the Tigers generally are a quality team, obviously, but I don't know. They certainly are surprising. They are surprising right now, for sure. That's the nicest or the best way I can put it. I'm at a loss for words for the fact that they kind of folded a couple of years ago at the end. They not kind of, they did. They fell apart down the stretch a couple of seasons ago. And then last year was a complete debacle, and they traded everybody. They sold everybody for some magic beans.
I mean, we'll see. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. So we'll see. Maybe it's just a hot streak, which every team goes through, but it's been against Detroit and Toronto, which are quality teams too. So great question. What is up with them? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll be interested to see how these teams do over the long haul and where their strengths and weaknesses are. What is going to give? What's going to give? Are they going to be able to maintain this level of play? Are the Guardians are going to maintain this level of play? Are teams that are struggling right now, are they going to improve? Are they going to continue to stink? As we saw last year, baseball, 162 games, and even when you think you're done and out, suddenly you're back in. I mean, that was crazy to make up 15 and a half games was just extraordinary. Unfortunately, as we've lamented, the way that it ended in that wild card series against Detroit, where we got blanked 1-0 by Tarek Skubal, that just kind of sucks.
So, you know what? That does suck, but nobody's going to remember that Detroit beat Cleveland in, round 1 of the playoffs, because Detroit went nowhere. Everybody's going to remember that the Guards came back from 15 and a half games last year.
It's in the history books.
I love. I'd much rather have that.
Yeah, it is in the history books there. We've only lost 1 series on the season, which was in Atlanta. They lose 2 out of 3 in Atlanta, but Parker Messick dealing on Saturday when the Guardians shut out Atlanta, winning 6-0. Jose Ramirez had a home run on Saturday. He is now homered against every other team in Major League Baseball, just continuing to cement his legacy, not only in Cleveland but in Major League Baseball. Amongst many of the greats, probably doesn't get as much recognition nationwide as he does in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I, it's just refreshing to see an athlete be okay with that and just be happy with where he is and his lot, and knowing he's making enough money, maybe not as much as he could, but once you're making 100 and whatever, $200 million, doesn't matter if you make $205 million. I don't know, but just refreshing to see an athlete that thinks that
It,
way.
it is. It absolutely is, and I think that he will be. He'll probably have a street named after him in Cleveland, somewhere in downtown Cleveland. I
And a
could picture it.
statue, sure, yeah.
Oh, 100%. There will be a Jose statue, and I definitely appreciate his what he's done for Cleveland on the field. It means a lot, I think, for the organization, and I hope they do him right and they surround him with some additional talent. I know that they I guess we'll see. We're gonna find out. The season's a
Oh,
long way got a
yeah.
long way to go, and, if we're in it come toward the middle of the season and they need to make a move, hopefully they won't hesitate and they will say, "You know what? We are close enough. Let's go. Let's do it."
And we should have enough prospects to deal if we need to as well. That's one of the other thing about bringing up these young guys now, like Valera. Let's see how they do, and if let's put some stats on paper so they can be valuable in that regard too.
Certainly. I mean, I'll tell you what, it was, kind of fun, Mike. I got to go down to or over. I went to, Lynchburg to catch our the single A affiliate. Now they're the Hill City Howlers. There was the Lynchburg Hillcats prior to this season, and yeah, and also yeah, don't want to forget to mention Juan Brito. He started
Yeah.
out really well. He's kind of scuffled at the plate a little bit the past few games, but I like what he brings to the table. And Gabby Arias might have. What row could be a
Yeah.
problem there, and we're
Maybe that's
still
somebody we can trade.
Magic beans will get in return for that one. Magic beans. But yeah, I got to go out to see the Hill City Howlers, and a lot of fun. We got a pitcher down there in Bodendorf.
Bodendorf,
Harrison
okay.
Bodendorf. He was dealing for it. I don't know why they pulled him after 4 2/3 innings, but he was kicking butt against the Fredericksburg Nationals. He had 9 Ks in four
Hmm.
and two thirds innings, shutout ball. Um, it was good. It was really good. It was great to see some guys down there. I didn't even necessarily realize because didn't pay that close of attention. Quan came through there. I saw a
Oh,
bunch of
really?
names guys that did play a little time in Lynchburg. So certainly there is a lot of room for prospects that we might see down the line coming out of Lynchburg through the system because that's what the Guardians do. They do a good
That
job bringing their people along. That being said, I think the Guardians will be on tonight. Who do we have? Joey Cantillo on the mound,
okay.
and I guess I feel like he's doing well. Honestly, the worst pitcher on our rotation right now is Bibee, and
Yeah.
the next least good, using my best grammar skills, Slade Saccone's been a bit disappointing, but
So far, yeah, yeah.
so far, but I think he'll be all right. He'll be. I know in his first start, apparently he was sick. He had been under the weather. So whatever it is, um, and then I think he was on the mound on Friday night, and things kind of got away from the Guardians. If I'm keeping my days straight, when he was on the mound, he gives up a couple jacks and it's like, okay, dude, get him out of there. He gives up a home run to Acuna, and another guy gets on base, and I'm saying, get him out, get him out. No, we'll leave him in. Let somebody else hit another home run. But I would say that if I'm looking at the order of how the rotation has performed, I'm looking at it as Williams 1, Messick a very close 2. If not, you could flip flop them.
Sure, yeah.
I think that probably Cantillo's been about the next best, then Saccone and then Bibee. I just hopefully it all gets figured out. I'm sure it will, and
Yeah.
we'll see
No,
what
it's the
happens.
Guardians. That's what they're good at, it's pitching. So
They sure are. They sure are. All right, so let's move on. You mentioned all the things that are going on in Cleveland sports. It's time to let them know. And hopefully they'll let us know that they are for real and serious this year. The Cavs are headed to the playoffs, the number 4 seed. They finished amazing 52-30. Did you ever think that you would see our Cavs team win 52 games and were disappointed by it?
I know, without LeBron too.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was going to say, like, back in the day, in the heyday of the late 80s, early 90s with Doherty, Price, Nance, we won 57 games a couple of times. And that was amazing. And last year we won 64, or did we finish 66? I can't recall if it was 60. I think it was 64 last year.
I think you're right, yeah.
And this year we come in and we're going, okay, we're going to be all right. We're going to be good. Garland goes in, has surgery. You think he's going to be, his toe's going to be all fixed up. We knew he was going to miss a little time to start the season. Then Max Strus gets injured before the season, and we never got healthy.
Well, let's not forget that everybody's excited about getting Ball. We got rid of Okoro and got Ball, and that was supposed to fix a lot of things. And Hunter's back, and a whole year with the team now, and he's going to be even better. Like, there's a lot of hope going into this season.
Oh, absolutely. We were looking at it going, okay, we should be good to go. We said, all right, we lose Ty Jerome, but Sam Merrill, he's taking a step up. And we felt defensively, Lonzo Ball would be just as good, if not better, than Okoro. And we really weren't. We thought he'd be good at distributing the ball. I don't know if there was ever much hope for him offensively, but he was even worse than expected.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think anybody thought he was going to be that bad. I totally agree.
I would have much rather had kept Okoro if I'd have known that. I know that Okoro was a little bit of an offensive liability, and teams would just sag off and let him stand in the corner to shoot a three. That's a problem. You can't have that. However,
and it was a problem in the playoffs mostly. He was fine in the regular season, it seemed, but for some reason he just couldn't do it in the playoffs.
Well, last year he was good until he got injured. He was actually shooting 40% from three. He gets injured and then he stinks. And then he never figured it out. We've seen some players emerge this season amongst all this mess. The downside is we haven't been healthy all season long. We had 41 starting lineups in 82 games. We never had our full complement of players on the court together. We make a couple of big moves at the trade deadline. We move on from Darius Garland. We get James Harden. We move on from DeAndre Hunter. We got Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. Jalen Tyson stepped up in year 2. Sam Merrill became more than just a 3-point shooter. But
Naquin Tomlin.
I was going to say Naquin Tomlin. He's a two-way player. And at the beginning of the season, with all these injuries, he takes full advantage of his opportunities. We added Thomas Bryant. Not too shabby. He brings a lot of energy and a veteran leadership and playoff experience. I like that. But Dean Wade consistently inconsistent because he's injured. There's games he doesn't shoot the ball, doesn't score. Like, what is he doing out there? You've got games where Evan Mobley shrinks. He's had injury problems. Poor Jared Allen's had injury problems. I feel like you couldn't count on any of these guys on a nightly basis. Finally, Strus gets back in the lineup, and they're having to load manage him as he's come back. But he does add some spark to the lineup. It'll be interesting to see what Kenny Atkinson does from a rotation perspective. And they're at 0 games at full strength and for the Cavs all season long. With a guy like James Harden, he's been durable. And the knock on him, everybody's talked about it, him having not the greatest postseason performances.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, he can take some attention. We talked to Tim Alcorn about this. He could take some attention off of Donovan Mitchell. They can't just sag off of somebody of the other guard on the floor.
Right.
They've got to guard him. They can't double team Donovan all the time.
Yeah, that's a great point. And one thing that everybody always debates too is this rest versus rust, debate. Do you're locked into the number 4 seed. Do you rest everybody? But then you're gonna have a week off because you're not in the play-ins. Should really play him more. This is the one time. Usually I'm in the hey, let's play him, keep the momentum going. This is the one season I'm like, I'm glad we have this time off. Let these injuries heal. Let people rest. We've been snake bitten with the injury bug the last couple playoffs. So we have these guys are gonna get more than a week off now by the time they play on Saturday. So I think that will be to our advantage too.
Let's hope. Let's hope it is, and they need to come out ready. We'll get to that. We'll get to the scheduling thing in a minute. But the last year, remember, they ran through everybody, and guys weren't playing as many minutes. And I think, and that caught up to the Cavs when they got into that second round because they blitzed Miami, beat the living snot out of them.
Yep.
In 4 games. They start against Indiana. Indiana is catching fire and pushing us. The physicality, the speed of the game. Poor Donovan Mitchell, he looked winded, and it seemed as though the conditioning wasn't there because they didn't need it all season long. He played, I think, like a career low minutes per game last season. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but that seems to stick out to me, whether it was or not. They did a good job. They were like, we're killing teams. We can rest guys. So this year we didn't have that luxury because we were dealing with injuries. That might be a positive that they didn't get to sit around and be in games where we were blowing teams away. We had to keep fighting in most of our games, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing because that means we had a lot of games where we were screwing around and we'd get up by double digits and then wouldn't just finish the other team, which is very, very frustrating.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't bite us. You're absolutely right. But I think to your point though, just the fact that we discovered some players that I don't think we knew we had is going to be immensely valuable in the playoffs. Whether Kenny can increase the rotation from just 8 players to maybe we use 9, or if somebody does go down with injury, it's not going to be as drastic as a loss as it was last year or the year before.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And also last year in the playoffs, Ty Jerome just.
Oh, what happened? Yeah.
I don't know. He got found out. It's like, is this guy a fraud? What happened?
Yeah.
He had this amazing season.
Do we even know how did he do with it? Was Memphis, right? Is that who he got?
He went to Memphis.
By?
Yeah, he went to Memphis. He was injured for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, which has been a problem for him. But last year he got exposed. Last year he absolutely got exposed, and we needed him desperately in the playoffs in Indiana, and he was horrible.
Yes,
absolutely horrible. Yeah, and then interesting. Okay, yeah, Mike points out again. This Brian Windhorst was on ESPN Cleveland talking about the Cavs and the early games, and I'm trying to think exactly what it was that he was talking about, or specifically saying about the early games. But I know that he was saying, look, you don't want to come out and let Toronto get out in front of you. He spoke to how Toronto wants to play fast. We want to slow it down. So we don't want to let them get confidence. We don't want to let it get them ahead of them. Let them get out in front of us early. We can't do that. We can't do that. Interestingly, so the Raptors end up getting the 5 seed on the last day of the season. They win the tiebreaker over Atlanta based on the head-to-head matchup. And actually, that almost got flipped on its head when Orlando almost beat Boston. Because if Orlando had beaten Boston, that would have been a 3-way tie between Orlando, Atlanta, and Toronto. Atlanta would have gotten the 5 because they would have won the Southeast Division or whatever division. I don't even know what the divisions are called anymore.
Yeah, doesn't even matter. Really,
not too much. And ultimately, Boston was able to pull it out as they were playing not their best lineup. And while Orlando was trying to force or push up in the standings, so they had a lot to play for. Atlanta rested everybody on Sunday, and they got blown out by Miami. Miami played all their players. Toronto played all of their guys, and they went in and they won. They could have said, whatever. I don't know where they would have ended up in the standings had they lost the game. How far they might have fallen, if it would have pushed them potentially back into the play-in, I don't know. So don't quote me on that. But for Atlanta to just throw in the towel on Sunday, is that kind of a slap in the face to the Knicks?
That's a good question. I guess they were going with the rest versus rust. They had that debate too. What side won in that one? Do you think, does it show respect to Cleveland a little bit that they
Yeah.
didn't want to face Cleveland more than slap in the face of the Knicks? I wonder. Because they saw us. It was almost like a playoff game the first time we played them in these back-to-backs earlier in the week, and that was a good game. And Atlanta couldn't hold, so maybe they must have felt they had a better chance with New York. Which would, how crazy would that be if they could actually stun the Knicks too?
Yeah, I'd have to look and see what the season series was between the Knicks and the Knicks and the Hawks. Maybe that's a good matchup. They did not have any rim protection against the Cavs. The Hawks do not have any rim protection, and I don't know that. Certainly, the Knicks have some decent size in Karl Anthony Towns, and oh my God, Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
Certainly, he's got his size, but we'll see. I don't know that Atlanta's going to pull any kind of major upset there, but you never know. I question Mike Brown.
Yeah,
And Quinn Snyder's a pretty good coach. I know he hasn't won an NBA title or anything, despite having. I mean, he was the coach for Donovan and Rudy Gobert in Utah, and they didn't exactly knock the
make it out of
world
the second
over.
round.
Right, that too. But I've seen Mike Brown's coaching in the playoffs, and I've seen him not make adjustments. And if I'm a New York fan, I'm concerned.
Yeah, and ultimately, it probably won't matter for us, for Cavs fans, because I'm sure we wouldn't face them until the conference finals, anyways. If we make it that far, and it's probably gonna be Boston anyway, so
right,
it really doesn't matter for us.
So I won't count my chickens before they hatch. I certainly think that if the Cavs can manage to make it out of round one. Presumably you're going to face Detroit. And I think we can match up well with them, but they're going to be really tough. We'll see how Cade Cunningham does if we get to that point. Cunningham.
I was going to ask, what is his status? Do you know? I mean,
I believe I saw him practicing, and I believe that he will be back. That what did he have a lung
collapsed lung?
There it is. Thank you, Banana Mac. There it is. Okay, Mike's got it. Knicks won 2 of 3 against the Hawks. Okay, so the Knicks have the favor there. As a okay. As a Raptors fan, go Raps. So, hey, that's okay. Look, I don't mind. I mean, Drake will be there to ruin it for you. He'll be
well. I mean, that is one thing we got to talk about, though, is that we're 0-3 against the Raptors.
Right.
This
exactly.
Year.
So let's talk about that, because that's something that I looked at and go, crap. We did not play well against them. However, I did a deeper dive, Mike.
Okay.
All 3 of these games came the first game October 31st in the NBA Cup. We lose that 112-101.
And that was what, game 6 of the season? So
yes,
real early?
Game 6 of the season. Did not play in that game. Allen, Mitchell, Garland, Merrill, Tomlin, and Strus didn't play in that game. So you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty. And now at the time, Tomlin wasn't. It's only the 6th game of the season, but Merrill, Garland, Mitchell, and Allen, you're not playing. You were relying on Evan Mobley. He had 29 and 8, and you had Hunter with 26 and 6. Tyson had 18 points. But Jamison Battle, and this is where we're going to have to watch. Former Ohio State Buckeye, Jamison Battle went 6 of 6 from 3 and finished with 20 points. That's ridiculous. So then, okay, look, we're getting this. Mike's on this too. So Mike from the UK is all over this as well. The second game, and also this was on. Let's see. So that was on Halloween, but we didn't have half of our players playing, or vast majority. The next matchup, November 13th in Cleveland.
So this game number 13.
Yep, second night of a back-to-back.
Okay.
We had been in Miami the night before. We won a game we arguably shouldn't have won after we screwed up the game before in Miami because we played that weird baseball series and blew a game. And then we rested everybody and managed to win in Miami. That's thing. So
I still remember that loss. That was we were up by 1 with like a half a second left.
Yeah, and they couldn't
inbound to the alley-oop. Something
yeah,
like
I think a Jaime Jaquez or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was horrible. In that game, second night of a back-to-back, still no Garland, no Tyson. So we had a vast majority of the lineup, but Scotty Barnes goes off for almost a triple-double, 28, 10, and 8. Jakob Pertl with 20.7 boards. Emmanuel Quickly, who is a little bit dinged up, 25 points. Now, Spida went with 31, 6, and 6. Mobley, though, 7 points, 2 of 7 shooting. Where was he? Jared Allen, 6 points on 3 of 6 shooting in 21 minutes.
Yeah. Was that more, is that their defense, or is that just us having an off night?
Well, coming on, I don't know. I mean, it's a second night of a back-to-back in which we rested pretty much everybody else in Miami, and then these guys stink up the joint. Like that's a microcosm of the season and what we've seen out of some of our guys, especially guys like Allen and Mobley, who've been just consistently inconsistent. Then the last matchup up in Toronto, November 24th, again, the second night of a back-to-back. The prior day was a win at home over the Clippers. Garland, Allen, Wade, and Hunter did not play. What am I missing here? Wait a second. We've got a bit of a Sports Center update here. Jose. Okay. Jose with a home run. Bro. Thank you for the Sports Center update there from Mike from across the pond. So on November 24th, again, a second night of a back-to-back. We won the day before at home against the Clippers. Mitchell had an awful game. 17 points, 6 of 20 shooting, 3 of 12 from beyond the three-point arc. Now, what was even worse is Lonzo Ball had 8 points, and he seemed to think he was going to be a shooter extraordinaire. 3 of 15 from the field, 2 of 12 from beyond the three-point arc. I can accept Mitchell shooting poorly from beyond the three-point arc. Ball, no.
You could probably go 2 for 12, I bet.
I might. Although I'd probably get all my shots blocked. I am a little bit. You should have seen it. I'm standing next to that guy, the catcher for Hill City. His name is Howard, and he's taller than I am. But Bodendorf, he had to be. He was well over 6 feet. I haven't looked up his stats, but I'm like, hey, how's it going, buddy? How's the weather? Hey,
I bet you'd hit the rim at least 2 times if you took 12 shots.
Oh, I think I could pull that off. I do think I could pull that off. So with all of these things kind of in mind, what are your takeaways from the season matchup with Toronto?
Yeah, no, thanks for the rundown. That's actually really helpful to put things in perspective, because I think a lot of people see this, we're 0-3 against Toronto. Oh crap. But when you look deeper, like you just did, it doesn't look so bleak when all the things that, was going against them. And the fact that we played them 3 times within, the third game was game 19.
In less than a month. Yeah. In less than a month period, we played them all 3 times that we played them all season long.
So yeah, a lot has happened since then. And, they're the number 5 seed, so they have done well this season too. So you definitely cannot discount them. I do not think it's going to be a 4-game sweep like we had with Miami last year. But I I feel confident that we can take this one. Maybe take it in 6. I could see. What do you think?
All right. So my takeaway on the positive side is that this is a completely different team than when we played them. Look at we discussed earlier the roster. We've got no Hunter, no Garland, no Lonzo Ball. We bring in Schroeder, uh, Ellis, and Harden. Vastly different roster. Just a vastly different roster. I feel much better about it from that perspective. Um, the fact that again, as we just talked about that breakdown, that we played them 2 of the times on the second night of back-to-backs. Certainly in the one, we had rested most of our players the night before, but nevertheless, I feel like we've got a good opportunity. But certainly they've shown our weakness, and most teams have all year. One, they want to push the ball. We have been bad in transition defense. How many times are we so lackadaisical? The other team knows just to run on us. They
Yeah.
score. It's crazy. The other thing is that we've been awful at defending the 3-point line.
Yes, that is a huge worry. You're absolutely right.
I don't know what you do there to correct that. I hope that with the time off, they can strategize. There's no question who we are playing. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and Mike said Lonzo did start 2 of the 3 games.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
It was. I mean, in the early season, he was having to pick up time because we didn't have we didn't have
Struce
we didn't
or
have DG or Struce.
yeah.
So, and that's another part of it. We actually Struce comes back from being injured and
Yeah.
wasn't available in those early games. Um, we have our flaws, but I think this is going to be on a lot of I hope Kenny learned some things from last year. We certainly saw some of our deficiencies against Indiana when we couldn't rebound the ball. We've
Yep.
got to be better on the glass, and we've got to defend the 3-point line. I will give you a 2-pointer. I will make you drive into the basket and go up against Jarrett or Evan. Don't give them the 3.
Especially since we know it's been a weakness all year.
It's historically bad. I mean, we tried to lose to Memphis, gave up 29 threes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's just absurd. So I feel like there's a positive there. As I said, the negative is we can't guard the 3-point line for squat, and of course the continuity. You wonder since they haven't been able to play together, how's that going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't affected them too much so far. And we'll see. I wonder if it's going to change too, that they see the same opponent, night after night. That you can game plan a little differently, and maybe with a veteran lineup like we have, that should work to our advantage, I would hope.
I certainly hope so. I think there's different nights is going to call for different players to step up and be the X factors. But who do you think? But can't wait for D Wade to start at the 3 in game 1. He probably will, probably for size. I think he will defensively start, but he can't be a timid. He can't be afraid to shoot. If he's going to be a statue out there, get him off the floor. Is
Yeah.
my opinion on that. Who do you think needs to be kind of the X factor and step up for the Cavs?
I'm gonna say Jared Allen. I'm gonna say that because so many games we rely on the 3, or we rely on Mitchell, or one of the stars. But Allen is, I think, the unsung hero, and if we can just force the ball underneath, not only is he just a high percentage shot maker, but it opens up outside shots for the other guys too. So I don't want to see us rely on the 3 to start off too early like we've done in the past. I want to see us go down low to him, open up some other things, and then just see, on defense, he can take over a game too. I think even more than Evan Mobley can at times.
Yeah, although he is short, technically he is shorter than Mobley, even though with his hairdo, it does
Yeah,
make him look a little bit taller. Maybe I need to go with that. I think. What do you think? I should go with a Jufro?
do it. I would love to see that. Yeah.
It would be very interesting, to say the least. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Jared Allen has been amazing. He has stepped up so often, and we've seen that each player between Mobley and Allen seem to play better when one is not on the floor. Kind of interestingly enough, but they they need to keep Allen in the game. Get him into it right away. Don't let him be timid. He's such a quiet. That's not his
Right.
personality, and so I think you've got to get him into it right away. Um, I wanted to touch on something just off the floor real quick, because we've been so blessed to have Tim Alcorn on the podcast with us a few times and get to know him and meet him personally. Jim Chones going to be stepping away from the radio booth. He's going to have another role with the team, but he has been the color commentator with Tim Alcorn, and the laughs that those guys have on the broadcast. His laugh. It's infectious.
It is. It really is.
It's good to hear him, because he adds, some color commentators on the radio don't understand the role of a color commentator. I think he manages to balance things really well. He and Tim just mesh. They mesh very well on the broadcast. So they honored him in the season finale in Cleveland on Sunday, as the Cavs were playing at home at Rocket Arena. Also, the future of the TV crew is up in the air, because FanDuel, as far as I read, FanDuel Sports Network will no longer be broadcasting Cavs next season. I don't know. There was a suggestion maybe Dan Gilbert's Rock Entertainment Sports Network will take over the reins there, and they didn't mention who the personalities would be. I imagine they'd probably bring back a vast majority of the folks, but Mr. Cavalier, I hope that he gets to come back in some form and fashion. I did like him on the broadcast as much as, big Brad Doherty fan. You got to get that weak stuff out of here.
Yes, right.
So, yeah.
Well, if they have open tryouts, you need to.
I will plan on it. I've already started. Don't worry. The wheels started turning as soon as I saw that announcement. I'm like, I wonder. Yeah, and as Mike said, surely they move across like the Guardians have to the Guardians TV when they transitioned off of FanDuel Sports Network. So I think we have hit a lot of stuff here, my friend.
We have.
And I think with that, I'd like you to tell everybody what has you going nuclear tonight.
Okay, I'm going with a different take today. Instead of going nuclear, I am going to do what has me being grateful. And that is because after today, I'll be, as you know, Ethan, but everybody else, I'll be leaving the show as I am changing careers, and I'm going to have to focus on that for a little while. So, first of all, I'm grateful for you for giving me this opportunity to co-host the show with you. It has been an absolute blast. It's been so much fun to talk Cleveland sports again. I've enjoyed all the guests we've had on and meeting so many incredible people. I'm also grateful that we were able to both have our sons on this show. And if some of you remember last year, I had my father-in-law on. I've had some other friends and neighbors on. So it's been so much fun. And I'm so grateful to introduce all those people to Cleveland sports as well. But most of all, Ethan, I'm just grateful for you. It's been an absolute blast to reconnect with you these past 2 years, and I'm glad that I get to consider you a friend. I know we'll continue to stay in touch, and I look forward to watching your future podcasts and seeing your broadcasting career grow even bigger, which I know it will.
Well, that's I'm not gonna get choked up. I'll save that for later. Because I appreciate everything you said, and it goes back 100%. And as Mike's from the UK points out, best of luck in your next career.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate
it. I think that we're gonna be in good hands. We've got some things lined up. Not gonna let the show fall, even though these are tough shoes to fill, tough shoes to fill. But I do appreciate you being here and providing all this time when you're super dad. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You are 100% super dad, super husband. And I do appreciate everything you've done and all the time. And you always have a home here. whenever you get settled into your next phase of your career, if there's time, you're always welcome here. And we do have to look forward to Cavs games. We're going to be looking for all those sorts of things.
All the things. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, to be on, just because I have to be myself, let me tell you, just to bring you a little joy here, one last episode for you. What has me going nuclear is the NBA on Amazon Prime and professional sports screwing the fans. The Cavs game on Saturday, where is it going to be on? Amazon Prime? Amazon Prime? Really? We're going to be on Amazon Prime? The NFL does this baloney where they've got a playoff game on Prime or what? Come on. Can we stop? Can we stop being on 50 different streaming platforms? Why? Why is this necessary? Let's stop lining our pockets. Take a slightly lesser deal from, I don't know, the broadcast networks, and be on where everyone can watch you, especially in the playoffs. You want to do it in the regular season? All right, that's bad enough. But you're not. You're now. This is the playoffs, and the Cavs open on Amazon Prime. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch them. I'll figure something out. If nothing else, I'll listen to Tim and Jim.
Yeah, that might be better right there. Yeah,
it might be. Heck, I might even put them on during a TV broadcast and sync it up because, quite frankly, the broadcasters are most of the time very obnoxious on the TV broadcast. I don't prefer them. So, thank you very much to the NBA and professional sports for screwing us all, the paying customers, when it comes to being able to watch our teams, because there's only so many of us that can be there live. And if you're on the road and you got to get really, and we get the one, I don't even know.
I mean, how many subscription services would you need to actually watch every game out there?
Oh my,
it's just ridiculous.
Oh, it is because you would have to have Peacock. You need to have so for the NBA, for example, it's Peacock. If you don't have so you need ESPN in some form or fashion. You need to have I guess, are there games? No, games aren't on TNT anymore, right? Or did they move because they're not?
Well, you still have Prime. Prime had some regular season.
Prime had regular season games. NBC, Peacock. I can't keep track of it. And then you've got the regional networks as well. So you need the NBA League Pass if you're not living in the area. It's out of control. The football's out of control. It's all out of control in the name of making money. And it's all at our expense, the fans. So NBA, NFL, thank you very much for screwing us, the fans. And that is what, oh, wait, here we go. Wait, NBC Prime, ABC for NBC Prime and ABC for the playoffs. I mean,
and Peacock.
Do you need Peacock for the playoffs? Or is that just NBC? Regardless, I don't care. Bottom line, you're screwing us. You're screwing us. In the immortal words of Costanza, and that is what has me going nuclear. But again, first of all, I just want to take a moment, Mike. Again, thank you for all that you've done, and this has been a blast. And again, you're always welcome here whenever things get settled in your next phase of your career. You and Carter, your kids, Carter, Alex, whatever, that Camden. Get him on anytime.
Sounds good.
You're always welcome. So really appreciate that. And I appreciate your family giving you up the time. So I hope that they know that I value that. And I value you as a friend and reconnecting after 20 years of, being after post Kent State, 20 plus
That's right.
years. And
who would have guessed it? It's pretty amazing. I love it.
It really is. And also, would like to this episode here. This will be your last episode, and this is the last episode of Going nuCLEar as part of Collecting and Connecting. So I want to thank Paulie Campione and for him allowing us to be on here as part of Collecting and Connecting. Thanks to all the fine people who have gotten to know via that network, and everybody who has chimed in, commented, watched. We really appreciate everybody who's been a part of that. But the the show will go on. Stay tuned to all your social media as there will be posts for where Going Nuclear is going next and who will be part of Going Nuclear. In the words, in a little Dr. Evil homage there. But yeah, Mike, thank you very much. Really appreciate everything. And so let's call it a show here. Once again, for the last time with Mike Rasinski. For now, for Mike Rasinski, I'm Ethan Greenberg, and you've been tuned in to Going Nuclear, full blown coverage of the land.